I'm Dave Hertner. Welcome to the Nest. It's been almost 2 months without putting out any newsletters, and I have to admit, although there's lots to talk about, I needed a break from the weekly video production schedule. I love making videos and talking about all things aircraft, but we really needed a little bit of a break. And about the same time, we brought our daughter Christina home from finishing her university undergraduate degree. She spent 6 weeks with us preparing to move to Australia to live with her husband Joe, and so we cherished all the time that we could spend with her before she departed. Now that she's in Australia, I'm getting back to making videos for our subscribers and the thousands who follow us through other platforms. We're going to start today with a general update with news from the Nest, followed by an Aria update, and then we're going to review an article posted on a publication called Air Online Netherlands. So it's aironline.nl, and it's about Denis van den Tooren and his beautiful Fisher celebrity. Last and never least, we'll have Algy Yates with another of his ongoing Youngster video builds.
This is Fisher Flying Products. I'm Dave Hertner. Welcome to the Nest. Our video newsletters provide weekly insight into building and flying our 15 wooden aircraft designs. Polini Motori of Italy is a gracious sponsor of our channel.
Polini's the manufacturer of the Thor 303 DS.
Cozy Carb Ice Prevention Systems is a proud sponsor of this channel as well. Please take the time to watch our videos to the end, as this assists us in the metrics that YouTube uses to rate our channel. Hit the like button if you feel that the content is worthy. We invite you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the subscribe button and hitting the bell so that you are notified whenever we post our newsletters.
We recently shipped kits in various levels of completion to Texas, Rhode Island, and Taiwan. We have 2 kits that will be shipping shortly to the United Kingdom, and we'll soon confirm quick build orders from Australia and South Africa. I really love how this is a global community. Thanks to all of you who've purchased plans and items from our web store. The traffic's been increasing in the web store, and we have lots of good ideas for more merchandise to be added in the future. We're just getting back some tailwheel spring chassis weldments from our outside welder, and then they'll be off to the powder coater. We will be shipping back-ordered tailwheel chassis to those who've purchased kits, and then we'll be adding the tailwheel chassis and chassis wheel assemblies to our web store for sale to the general public. We're pleased to announce also that Fisher Flying Products has entered into an agreement with G-Aerosports out of Florina, Greece, to be the manufacturer and distributor of the Sf1 Archon and Sf2 Archon, a single and 2-place jet fighter-like experimental amateur build. These aircraft are unique to the aviation world, and they utilize a flow-through fuselage concept that creates extra lift to augment wing lift when the aircraft is outside of straight and level flight. We'll be bringing an initial kit over from Greece to document the build process and to develop North American supply chains. We're planning to have information on the aircraft available at Oshkosh this year, and we'll have a physical example on display in 2022. And now for an Aria update. Things have been progressing quickly in this program. We have 2 fuselages assembled for our early bird program members, and much work has been completed on the demo aircraft. We've entered into an agreement with Rotax for a 912 ULS development engine for the demo aircraft, and we finalized the design of the wing spar and ribs that will allow for operational 6+6G wing with folding wingtips. We are progressing daily in the manufacture of components for the 3 early bird kit orders currently taken. There are still 2 more spots open for individuals who would like to get in on the early bird offers, so contact us if you're interested. There's a $6,000 savings over the standard kit price by taking advantage of this early offer. Denis van den Tooren is a Fisher Flying Products customer who has built and recently flown his celebrity. Denis is a consummate craftsman and has done a beautiful job of building this wonderful biplane with a radial engine mounted to the nose. Denis completed the aircraft on May 13, 2021, and has the aircraft located at the Central Zeeland Airport in the Netherlands. You are seeing pictures from an article that was written by Barend Jan Floor for the publication Air Online Netherlands. He has posted many times for this publication, and I encourage you to go there and see some of his interesting articles. Denis completed his first flight approximately 1 month after completing the aircraft and moving it to the Central Zeeland Airport. This article goes on to describe how Fisher came into being in the United States and how this type of aircraft was the first to be registered on the Dutch Aircraft Registry. A Vans aircraft RV-12 was also built by Denis, and it looks like he did a great job with that aircraft as well. One of the most interesting aspects of this build is that Denis installed a 7-cylinder radial engine from Werner Motor of the Czech Republic. Denis took the time and effort to build a beautiful cowl for this engine, which really sets the aircraft apart from an open engine, as you can see in the red Celebrity, or a horizontally opposed engine, as you would see in this orange Celebrity. In a departure from what is usual on a first flight, Denis flew the first flight with his wife Jenny accompanying him. The maiden flight was uneventful and the aircraft flew beautifully. There are several super pictures here of the aircraft on the ground and in flight, and I especially like the one that shows the aircraft in takeoff mode where the mains are lifting off just ahead of the tail wheel. It looks like Denis has this aircraft configured perfectly. Lastly, I'd like to comment on the great job Denis did with the cockpit. He used wood for the instrument panel and lever handles, and I really like how he's put leather around the sides of the cockpit and laced it to give it a very nostalgic look. In taking a break from posting my weekly newsletter videos, I've also not been posting the ongoing build videos from Algy Yates. And so we have a bit of a backlog on those, and I'm going to post one with this video, but then I'm going to put together a compilation of his next 2 or 3 videos to catch you up. Algy Yates will be receiving the balance of his kit shortly, and we really look forward to going through the whole build process of his Youngster with him and sharing that with you. So without ado, here's Algy Yates in his latest installment. Take it away, Algy.
Hi and welcome to the channel. In this video I complete the elevator idler lever bracket. So let's see how I go about it. Okay, so having turned this down so it's an interference fit by 3/100ths of a millimetre, I'm just going to part this off and then I'll cut a second one, and then we'll do the other faces to get it so that it's a good thickness to allow for washers and bits. So let's see how we get on with this bit. I've set up the bush in the chuck here. I've done my calculations going by the thickness of the stainless steel washers I'm going to put, which are going to be clamped by the levers that will rub against the bush to stop the lateral movement so that the bush doesn't wear into the aluminium side levers, and it needs to be a thickness of slightly less than 1.8 millimetres. So I'll face this off now. It's set up in the chuck so that it's should be nice and flat, and check that. Yeah, it's all set. So we'll just do that cut back. I'm just going to run a little file just to make sure I don't have a sharp edge on the face there, just in case we do get any sort of movement so it doesn't cut. There is one bush ready to fit. One more to go. Okay, so you've seen that I've made up the bushes. Now they've got a very slight radius in here from the tool, so for them to sit dead flat I'm going to have to put a very slight radius in here, which I'm going to use with a deburring tool. These have been machined now to 11.03 or 11.04 millimeters, and the hole here was drilled out 10.9 millimeters and then reamed to 11 with the bore gauge. It came out pretty much spot on. So I'm just going to use this deburring tool. Just go around here a few times just to put that chamfer in. So we've got a chamfer now which should in theory accept the radius at the bottom of that section there that was machined. And now I'm going to warm this up with a hot air gun, and hopefully these will either just drop in or just squeeze them in with a vise. I've got to put a very slight taper on the front edge here with a file so that they locate, and now that I've done that chamfer they've got something to locate just a little bit. So with a little bit of heat they may just drop in, but otherwise I'll just use the soft jaws here and press these fully home. Okay then, it's getting up to quite a high temperature. Well, first off I'll just try to drop one in and see if it will drop. Not quite. So, quick juggle in. Hot, hot, hot. That's one in, fully seated. So I'll just get the other one done. Right, so you've seen me press fit the bushes into my machine block, and that gives me now a bearing surface going across of 5.1 millimeters opposed to the 3.2 millimeters that the original aluminium U channel would have given. And that's brass, so it'll wear a lot slower than the aluminium will, or would have. To allow for other bits, this whole thing is only 23.6 millimeters wide, so slightly less than an inch, which is 25.4 millimeters. And that's to allow for a pair of stainless steel washers to be in between the arms and the bushes. The idea of that is it should reduce any lateral wear or lateral movement wearing the inside of the arms. And to allow that to work, this has got to be drilled out and reamed to accept a tube fitting over the 1/4 inch bolt, and that will trap these washers against the aluminium arms so that they move with the aluminium arms. The idea of the tube at the moment, the tube which I'm after, is 16 gauge, so that should in theory be 3/8 of an inch in diameter, but I've yet to confirm that. That would give me a reasonable wall thickness to the bush, so quite a lot of chance for wear before we start running into the aluminium. Okay, so I've got the stainless steel pipe here. I just want to check, see what the external diameter is, and I'll know what we've got to get through. So that is 9.54 millimeters. So I can drill that 9.3. I've got a 9.3 drill bit, and I'll have to try and borrow a machine ream to ream out the holes. So I'll set up and drill and ream, and then we'll probably not going to be able to get a reamer. this unusual size to be able to go to that, so it'll probably be 9.5 mil reamer, and I'll have to just polish and lap off some of the surface on this so it's a good fit in the bush. Drilled this out 9.3, only could get use a ream, borrow ream that was 9.5 millimeters. So I put this into the lathe and I polished it back using 320 grit, working my way up until I got to 2000 grit, so it's got a reasonable polished surface on there. And then by continuing like that, I managed to get it so it's actually a nice close tolerance fit all the way through. To mark this up now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off in a lathe to make sure it's a lovely flat end. Already when I did the turning on, I cleaned up the very end here on the lathe to make sure that it's smooth and perpendicular. So with it like that, there I can scribe a line onto the pipe. So I've got a line and I'll use that to cut this off. Right, so we're just going to turn the face off, make this nice and smooth. Take that out. Check the measurement, and that's spot on. There it is together. I've tightened this nut and bolt up to standard torque. It's got the use this as a pointer. You see you've got stainless steel washer. What would normally be between the nut and the washer would be one of the idler arms. Same on this side, between the washer and the head of the bolt would be an idler arm. I've just clamped this together at the moment just to make sure everything's working. Nice and smooth like that. No play that I can feel in that direction, and the end float with a feeler gauge here just slips in. Nice fit, and that's the, for our imperial friends, that's the 4/1000 of an inch, or 0.104 millimeters. So that was the clearance I was aiming for. So that's a nice fit, and hopefully would last a good time. So I'm going to take this apart now, and I'll degrease all this and I'll paint it with its protective coat. So then, here's the finished item. I'm quite pleased with the end result. Is it worth doing? Well, to me, yes. I like to make things which are going to last as long as the aircraft without requiring too much in the way of change, but the standard item would last quite happily. You might need to replace it part way through the life of the aircraft. It's just an engineering challenge for me to try and make things a little bit pretty and blingy, I suppose. Additional weight, about 15 grams. Additional life, unknown. Time to actually create, 2¼ hours to make it up, so I think it was worth the exercise. Hope you enjoyed the video, and in the next video I will be going on to creating rib jigs. Catch you later, bye now.
Thanks again for watching. We try hard to bring you interesting content each week. To help us out, please like and share our videos if you feel the content is worthy. To receive the latest info from Fisher Flying Products, click the subscribe button and ring the bell. See you next time in the nest.